Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2022 with the Orlando Magic. And one thing I neglected to mention in the initial video, and I realized this in an offline save, is that I'm playing in whatever it's called, not the sandbox mode, the challenge mode, I guess, where I can be fired. And I realized that because in a rebuild I was doing offline, I got fired. It didn't even occur to me that I could get fired. Most of these games give you the opportunity to shut that feature off. But in non-sandbox mode in Draft Day Sports, I don't believe that can be done. So we're going to have to keep an eye on our job security because I don't want to get fired. I want to win. So yeah, that's it. And winning hasn't come easy so far. We are 0 and 7, 0 and 8, 0 and 7, 0 and 7, 5.5 games out of first place through 7 games of the year. So maybe let's just take a look at our strategy and our depth chart. So we're in a pace and space kind of setup, and maybe that's not the right style of offense for our roster. Yeah, I mean, we don't have any really great knockdown style shooters. We've got some really good some really good inside ratings. So maybe we switch our strategy around here. And what do we go with? Maybe we try post focus. Maybe we try post focus. Or what's grind? So grind has got a lot of ball movement. Let's try grind. Let's try slowing it down a little bit and see how that works. Our problem, we're only scoring 99 points a game. We're giving up 115. So we're not, we're certainly not playing well. I think it's too early to trade anybody. Let's see if there are any free agents to sign. Will Magne? No. He's 2.5 stars, but nah. So let's try a different strategy. The grind is going to really slow things down, but I think ultimately that's fine. Depth chart. Do we want to make any changes here? We got Anthony, Suggs, Isaac, Wagner, and Carter. I think we're okay here. We don't have a lot of shooting. We just don't have a lot of shooting. My goal for this year is to get under the cap, which will make the owner happy. Hopefully pick up some draft picks in the upcoming draft. As I was thinking about this in the time since I've last played, I really think Anthony, Suggs, Isaac, Wagner is what I want to build around. Pretty much anybody else on this roster is movable, and that includes Wendell Carter. He's only 22, and the contract's reasonable. Really, it is. But because this starting 5 isn't going to win at all. So we need another piece in there. So we've got 2 point guards, or we've got 2. He's a 71 inside, 82 outside, 59 scoring. Yeah, we have 2 guards who can't really score. Jonathan Isaac is not a scorer. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. We really don't have an elite offensive player. So that's where we need to be focusing in the offseason, is picking up somebody at the top of the draft who can score, who can make it happen offensively. So let's do some simming and see if changing the style of offense changes things at all. So we got the Mavericks at home, and we win our first game of the year, 119-114. Let's go. All right. So what do we got going on here? Wagner, 7 for 8 shooting, 4 for 4 from behind the 3-point line. Carter, 18 and 12. Anthony had 19, 5 and 4. Suggs, 19, 4 and 3. So nice game here by the offense. We got 12 from Ross off the bench. Fultz 7, 4, and 5. Okay. All right. So we'll sim a couple weeks, and then I almost clicked this because I'm used to playing the Celtics. I think once we get to because this obviously doesn't take very long to sim, as you can see. So once we get to December, we'll start to take a look at some potential trades. So we got the Grizzlies at home, and we have an injury. Who is hurt? Jalen Suggs is out for 2 days, and Fultz is out for 2 days. So we'll just move Ross into the rotation, or into the starting lineup rather. Yeah, I guess Harris gets the rest of the time. Carter Williams is fine there. Ross. Okay, we'll just run with that. It's only a couple of days, thankfully, but we are at home against a good Grizzlies team, and it's a 15-point loss. Ross leads us in scoring. I mean, I don't mind if Terrence Ross has a good year. I mean, that's only going to increase his trade value. 15 points, 5 rebounds a game. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. Anthony struggled with the shot. Wagner had another nice game, at least shooting. He did shoot the ball enough. We got to get the ball into his hands some more. So we sim this game, this day, and we should be able to go back into our lineups now and reset the depth chart. So if we move Suggs back here and restore the lineup, yeah, we should be good. 1-8, but at least we got that first win of the year out of the way, right? Take on the Pacers at home, and we win. We beat the Indiana Pacers at home, 2-8. What do we got going on here? Wagner with another good game, 6 of 10. Anthony 19. Suggs had 13. Ross with 16 off the bench. Yeah. Ross having himself a pretty good start to the season off the bench for us. We'll just keep simming along here a little bit. I like stopping and looking at the box scores. If you guys don't want me to do that, if you want me to just sim, just let me know. But I like looking at the box scores. It's what I do offline. I'm such a numbers geek when it comes to this stuff. All right, we got the Sixers at home, and that's a 90-80 loss. So the defense looks like it's settling in a little bit, but offensively, we just are atrocious. Suggs had 15, Carter 17, Wagner only took 5 shots in 30 minutes. That ain't going to get it done, Franz. Isaac had a double-double. All right, 2 and 9. We'll get up to, as we take on the Spurs at home, we'll get up to like the midway point, another win. All right, so we're 3-2 or something in this episode. So we've gotten off to an okay start here. We'll pause in about a week and we'll take a look at stats and things like that. Fultz off the bench with 23 points, 5 of 5. For someone who can't shoot, that is a pretty solid game. Mo Bamba had an okay game. Suggs, 17 points, averaging 13, 4, and 3. Anthony, 12, 5, and 5, but that shot is rough. Isaac had 22, and Wagner, only 2 points. Jonathan Isaac is 24. All right, let's keep going. We'll get through, I think, probably our next game. Yeah, we'll get through this game against the Wizards, and then we'll stop and we'll look at the stats. It's another win. Wow. All right, so changing the style of offense seems to have worked a little bit. We were 0-7. We are now 4-9. So we're still bad, but better. Carter with a good game, 25 and 10. Suggs with a nice game, 20 and 8. Not much off the bench this time. Wagner, again, the shots not falling. Not falling for the sharpshooter. Although he is shooting 50% from the field, he's just not shooting enough. He's only taken 77 shots in 13 games. I need him shooting more. Let's go to strategy. Franz, 1 month. Catch and shoot more at the expense of that, because I want him to shoot more. All right, so we are 4-9 after starting 0-7. So we're still in last place, but that's still the second worst record in the East. The Pistons 0-13. Out west, Phoenix 2-9. That's not good for them. All right, let's take a look at our stats real quick. And maybe it's time to think about moving on from Terrence Ross. I know it's early, but we may as well try to get value while he's playing well, right? So 12.2 points per game. Carter leads us in scoring, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Maybe we don't move on from Wendell Carter. I mean, that contract is really reasonable for a 22-year-old. I think it might be Anthony. Because if we make Suggs our point guard, he's a 51 passer, 65 ball handling. Anthony's 56 passing, 71 ball handling. So Anthony's a better ball handler. Passing is the same, and it's a negligible difference. So maybe it's Carter, Suggs, Isaac, and Wagner that we build around. I'm just going to call him Wagner. It's easier than saying Wagner. That we're going to build around. I don't know. Begarin is actually a pretty... I have him... He plays for the Celtics. Well, he's a Celtics draftee, I guess, in real life. He's playing in France right now, and he's actually turned into a pretty good backup point guard for me in that save. So I'm hopeful here. That's part of the reason I signed him. So if we go to... The issue is that if I go to the trade block and I go to Terrence Ross, wherever he is, and I shop him, his you can see here under trading help. I was going to point at the screen. Down there in red, every time you use this option, the player uses 1 relationship point with the organization. So if I shop him, he's going to lose a point with the organization. I guess I don't really care. I mean, we're going to move him. So the Celtics, the Pistons, and the Clippers all want him. Celtics, who? Celtics, Pistons, and Clippers. So let's look at the Celtics just real quick. I don't think they have anybody I want. Yeah, they don't really have a lot of young talent. I mean, I might take a Robert Williams, which would then let me move Wendell Carter, but I don't think I want to do that. So no, Celtics, who was it? Celtics, Pistons, and Clippers. I don't think the Clippers have any really young... I want young talent or draft picks. That's all I'm interested in. So I think the goal is to take someone who's on a bad contract, but it's short term. So try to find someone who is like on a 1-year deal that is not as good, and then we can try to get a draft pick out of them as well. Now, the issue with trading with Detroit is that they're 0-13. So they don't have anybody that there's no way I'm going to get that draft pick from them. So the Celtics are what? The Celtics are 4-8. Okay, it's not cap legal. I don't think they have anybody, right? Yeah, they don't really have anybody who's on a really, really bad contract. I mean, maybe Hernan Gomez, but yeah, I mean, even that's not cap legal. And like, what if I did? Yeah, if I did Richardson, they would just he's gonna laugh at me. Yeah. All right. I'm tempted to Gary Harris. I don't know if he has any value, but since we can renounce his rights at the end of the season, that's gonna clear like $20 million off the cap. So we should have some cap space to play with next year. So, I mean, it might be that moving Ross is done just to get the contract off the books, because Carter Williams, Gary Harris, Robin Lopez will all be renounced next year. So that's 25... It's about $30 million. Mo Bamba we may not re-sign, so it's going to add another 7.5. Yeah, so we're gonna have some money next year. We are gonna have some money next year to play with. So just doing something smart with Terrence Ross here. If we can get a first-round pick from anybody for Terrence Ross, I think that's the move. So I think what we do here is we mess around for a little bit, and we look for a team that has a bad contract that is close to what Ross is making, because the salaries have to essentially match in the NBA. So look for somebody who's on a 1-year deal making, 12 or 13 million dollars, who's not as good, and then see if we can get a draft pick out of them as well. I think that's the plan here. That's the play. So Joe Ingles, so if I add a real offer to make, okay, it's because they're 4-8. So if we find a team that's maybe a little bit better, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting a mid-first round pick as well, like Dragic. I'd have to give up. What does it say? Salaries. I have to make the salaries match, right? So it's my advantage. I wonder how far off we are on a deal like this. Because Dragic is the kind of player I want to look for. But I want that attached first-round pick to it. So let's get Mamba out of there. What about R.J. Hampton? Terrence Ross and R.J. Hampton for Dragic in a first. It says we have the advantage. How far off are we? Okay, yeah, really far off. All right, so apparently we need to find either somebody who's got a really bad contract or somebody who's really good and doesn't really care about their first-round picks. I think that's... I mean, the Spurs have money. I mean, I literally could just give them Terrence Ross if I wanted to. But I don't know. Creative Cloud updates. We could get Thaddeus Young. He's on an expiring deal. And that's interesting. We probably would have to give up more. So I want to see if there's another deal I can make. But that's interesting because, again, that's another $14 million that we could get off the books if we pulled the trigger on a deal like that. So what about like Danny Green? Yeah, like can we do something like this? Like, come on. Like, what do the Sixers need with a first-round pick? They are really valuing those first-round picks. That's crazy. Those late first-round picks doesn't make any sense. Pelicans have any bad contracts? Satoransky? I mean, the problem is as soon as I put the first-round pick in there, it switches. Yeah. Yeah, they're really valuing those first-round picks. All right, so we're going to hold on to Ross for now, although that deal with San Antonio is intriguing because if we can get that other year of Ross off the books, we're going to have upwards of $40 million to spend in free agency next year, and that would be huge. So let's keep going. And it might just be that some of these teams are valuing those picks because it's still early on. That may change as we get further into the season. All right, so we got the Raptors now on the road, and that's a loss, 107-99. So we hung around. We were leading by 3 at halftime, but that third quarter came back to bite us in the butt. Suggs had a nice game. Anthony 15-9. Carter had a rough one. Wagner scored 13, shot a little bit more. I still want him shooting more than that, only 7 shots. He's making threes at like a 40% clip this year. I need him shooting 44% clip. I need him shooting more. On the road at the Pacers is another loss. So we're down to 4-11 now. Where are we? Right there. I keep looking for the Celtics logo. Wagner takes 3 shots, misses them all. And I don't want Cole Anthony taking more shots than anybody else on my team. Is there some way that I can change that? Cole Anthony. Where are you? Drive and pass more at the expense of catch and shooting less. I need him passing the ball more. I mean, if he can become a true pass-first point guard, then he's got value. But I don't want him taking... we lose to the Pistons. That's no good. That's a bad loss. We've had some good losses here in this episode, but that's a bad loss. Anthony only takes 7 shots. Suggs 2 of 12. Wagner finally gets some shots and has a decent game. So we'll try the trade thing again at the end of November and see if there's any change there. So we got some injuries or an injury. Wagner's out for 1 day. That's no problem. We'll just put Okiki in there. I usually like to keep my initial bench players the same. So I don't want to, I wouldn't want to put Mo Bamba in the starting rotation unless I absolutely had to, because I like keeping him as in the role that he's been in. We win. We blow them out. 126-98, a 28-point win. Go back a day, look at the box score for that one. Good game. Okiki gets the start, as I mentioned. We get 22 and 13 out of Wendell Carter. Suggs, 20 points. Is Anthony hurt? No, he just didn't play very much. Brzezikis had 14. Fultz, 12. Good game for the bench. Ross, 9. Carter Williams, 10. Bamba, 8. Yeah, good game for the bench. We were up 18 after 1. Do we have... We do. Let's restore the lineup. Get Okiki out. Get Wagner back in. Fultz is another one we may want to look to move. I didn't even think about him. So, we're at home against the Raptors. Another win. Back-to-back wins. So I don't know that we're going to end up being one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, we're probably not going to end up over 500, but if we win 35 games, I mean, I wouldn't feel terrible about that, especially given the amount of money we're going to have in free agency next year. So Anthony had a great game, 22 and 9. Wagner, 7 of 9 shooting. Isaac, 14. Suggs, 12. Bench didn't do a whole lot. Yeah, so our bench is going to look... So I think next year we're going to come out of the draft with a shooter and a brand new bench. That's, I think, the goal here. We got a couple messages. Terrence Ross is on the trade block. His effort increases and his thoughts about the organization improve as well. So he's not mad that we're looking to deal him. He understands it's a business, and we are home against the Warriors. And we lose by 11. Bamba with a good game off the bench. Wendell Carter, 23 and 13. Anthony, 16 and 6. Looks like Wagner's starting to get a few. Ooh, there it is, guys. We were leading by 17 at the half. We were up 66-49 over the Warriors, and the second half, things just fell apart. We only scored 35 points in the second half. That's a tough one. On the road now against the Wizards. It's a 110-96 win. So I think we're better than maybe I had thought we were. I mean, we're still pretty bad. I mean, we're 7-15 or 8-15 or whatever it is. But, we were 0 in our first 7. So we changed things around here a little bit so far in this episode. So I think we're in pretty good shape, and we're gonna keep. I'm probably gonna try to get up to July 1st in this episode. First month took about 25 minutes, so I think we'll keep going here and try to get to the end of the year. at home against the Suns is another win. We are 8-13 as we continue to rattle off the victories against some good clubs. Carter scores 22 points in only 18 minutes of play. Ross got the start. Did Suggs get hurt? Why did Suggs not play? Anyway, Ross gets the start. Anthony, 19 points, 11 assists. Bamba with 21 off the bench. So we'll get to December 1st and we'll readdress the trade situation. Maybe we'll look at Markelle Fultz and see if there are any moves we can make there. All right, so it is December 1st. So let's just save real quick. Look at the standings. And we are still in last place. We still have one of the worst records in the East, although it's a whole lot closer now. I mean, the Pistons are far and away the worst team in the Eastern Conference, probably in the NBA. We're tied with the Heat, half a game behind the Wizards. Celtics are 6-14 with Tatum and Jaylen Brown, huh? I guess it's not far off. I mean, they've struggled out of the gate this year as well. Memphis 15-6 out of the gate. Denver 14-5. The Clippers and the Kings are doing well, and the Suns, the Western Conference champion Phoenix Suns, 6-15 to start the season. Statistics: leading scorer still Wendell Carter, averaging just under 16 points, 8 rebounds. Jalen Suggs' rookie campaign, just under 14 points, 4.3 rebounds, 3.6 assists. Cole Anthony, 13, 4, and 6. Jonathan Isaac, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks. He's really good. Terrence Ross, almost 11 off the bench. Wagner, just under 10 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. But look at that, 55% shooting, 48% from behind the three-point line. He's got to get more shots. It's just that simple. Fultz, 8, 2, and 2.5 and 2.5. Carter Williams 6-2 and 3, or 6-3 and 2 rather. All right, so let's go back to the trade players screen and let's see if anybody's interested in Fultz. Atlanta, Washington, and Golden State. All right, well, let's take a look at the Atlanta Hawks. Do you have any contracts they want to give us? Because I'd rather not pay Fultz $16 million for 1 year, or for 3 years. So if we do that, I'm just looking for 1-year contracts there. So that's now cap legal. If we add the first round pick. Oh, come on. I mean, it's maybe it's just about expiring contracts, right? Maybe that's the deal. If I can't get a first round pick from somebody this year, maybe it's all just about expiring deals, and then we make our push in free agency. I would rather build the team through the draft, but if I can't get draft picks from anybody, maybe it's just taking on a bunch of expiring contracts. Will you give me second round picks? You will. Will you give me all the second round picks? You will. Okay, so you'll give me a first a couple years from now. No, I'm not kidding. What if we just do that? Okay, so apparently second round picks have got negative value, which I don't get. But, I mean, Markelle Fultz Dion Wright, Lou Williams, who, these guys can come off the bench and provide some spark. And we send Markelle Fultz to Atlanta for Wright, Lou Williams, and 3 second-round picks. This clears $16.5 million off of our payroll for the next 3 seasons. Yeah, I mean, that's what this is about. That's what this season is about, is expiring contracts and draft picks. So let's make that deal. You're not willing to take on the contract of Markelle Fultz. But you said you were interested in him. See, right here, Atlanta, Washington, and Golden State. All right, fine. Do this a different way. Okay, so that's cap legal. Will you give me a first? When I have a real offer to make. You considerably more in return. All right, so they have the advantage here. I mean, I'm still okay with it. I just, are they going to take the contract? We get Thomas Bryant, who is a backup big man. Aaron Holiday, who can just take Fultz's spot in the backcourt for the year. And again, it's 2 expiring deals. Would you do Harrell instead? You would. Well, maybe you would. They may not want to take his contract after telling me they will, but let's see. This trade would make you too weak at center. I disagree. What if we added Mo Bamba and took back Yeah, that's kind of dumb. All right, let's look at Golden State. Let's get Bamba out of there. Not that Golden State has any contracts that I can afford or that I would want to afford. Yeah, see, they don't even really... I mean, they've got like 4 players who are making like a crap ton of money, and then everybody else is making the league minimum. So I don't understand what's going on with Atlanta. You said you're interested in him, got a deal that says is to your advantage, and you aren't willing to make the deal. All right, so let's get him out of there, and let's go back. And is anybody interested in Gary Harris? No teams are interested in Gary Harris. What about Michael Carter Williams? The Bucks and the Lakers. The Lakers are in the same boat as Golden State. They don't have any bad players on short-term deals. So let's go back to the Bucks. We may not make a deal right now. May not make a deal this episode. I mean, it just, if I can't find something that works, I'm not gonna do it just to do it, right? Yeah, see, they don't have anybody either. I mean, DiVincenzo, maybe? Yeah, that's an advantage to them. Grayson Allen would work, but, I mean, Grayson Allen is on a... Yeah, trading Carter Williams doesn't make any sense because he's in the last year of the deal. Gary Harris in the last year of the deal, so I want to keep those expiring contracts. So it's really Ross and Fultz. Those are really the 2 big deals that I want to try to move. Maybe Mo Bamba, because I don't know that I'm going to bring him back. The Clippers want Mo Bamba. I mean, I get a larger... Clippers have the advantage. Clippers don't want their first-round pick, right? I mean, we could do this. Serge Ibaka. Better shooter, better defensively. That cap renouncing would give us more money at the end of the season, and potentially 3 second-round picks that'll probably turn into nothing. But you never know. I'm not ready to make a deal like that yet. Let's go back again one more time. And I know I'm hurting my players' interest in the team or whatever you want to call it, but Hornets, Wizzlies. The Hornets, the Wizards, the Grizzlies. All right, let's look at Charlotte. They've got to have somebody they want to give up who's on a 1-year deal, don't they? Nope, not really. Oh, they're over the cap. So maybe, or they're under the cap rather. It's still not cap legal. Come on. Still not cap legal. They're not a bad option, but they don't have anybody on who's on a 1-year contract that I would want. Yeah, that doesn't work. Let's look at the Grizzlies. Jared Culver. There we go. That's cap legal. Wow, these teams really value these first round picks. That's crazy, man. All right, well, it looks like we're going to be able to, at a bare minimum, pick up some move Ross and move Fultz and get some expiring deals in. So that's the plan. And guys, I will be back here in just a minute. All right, sorry about that. We are back, and it's time to just sim ahead. Let's get through some of December. We'll make one more run at another win. Wow, 9-13. We'll make one more run at some potential trades as we get towards the end of the month. And like I said, I'm not in any rush. It's just a matter of, Suggs with a nice game, 24 points. I don't think we're going to be able to steal a draft pick from some of these teams. It's just the first round picks are, even the low ones, even the picks in the high 20s, low 20s. There's just so much value there that it might make more sense for us. As we get a message, trade rumor. Yes. Markelle Fultz is on the trade deadline. Again, it may just make more sense for us to get expiring deals, let those contracts expire. We beat the Bucks. We have a team incident immediately after a win over the Bucks. Really? Jonathan Isaac and Terrence Ross. All right, well, Ross will be gone sooner rather than later. Now I can't have him getting into fights with Jonathan Isaac. But again, I think it's, just getting those expiring deals and then making a run at some bigger names in free agency. I think that's the plan. So Ross didn't play. Is he hurt? Yeah, he's got a twisted ankle. I think midway through December here, we will find actually, you know what? Let's go in here and let's talk to Terrence Ross. Your attitude. Okay. Well, Terrence Ross didn't like that. So, all right, we take on the Lakers at home and another win. We are 2 games under 500, 11-13. We are making a run here. So, October wasn't good, but November and December have been fantastic for us. Isaac, 25 points, 11 rebounds. Wendell Carter, 18. Suggs at 20. Wagner had 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting. All right, so things are looking good. Let's go. Let's just make sure our job security is still 100. Okay. Let's sim. Yeah, we'll get up to the 15th, and I think we move Terrence Ross. I think you guys have hung with me here for almost an hour, so you guys deserve to see a trade. So can we win here? Ooh, that's a tough loss. So we beat the Lakers, we beat the Bucks, and we lose to a really bad Rockets team. So that shows you how up and down we are. Isaac 16-8, 24 points for Wendell Carter, 18 for Suggs. And yeah, we'll get up about another week, and then we'll make one more run at a deal. Another loss, 112-102. So So it looks like I mean, I don't know. Are we going to end up with a playoff push? I mean, 11 and 15 doesn't scream playoff team, but especially once we start to trade some of our depth. Although I'm hopeful that when we start to trade some of our depth, that means that people like Wagner will start to shoot the ball a little bit more. I mean, that's the hope here. I don't want Terrence Ross taking shots away from Wagner, frankly. All right, let's get up to the 18th. We'll sim one more week on the road against the Magic. We have an injury. Wagner is out for a day, so let's get Okiki in there. Ooh, we lose by 21. Not good. All right, we got another game today, so let's put Wagner back in. Brzezikis and Hampton are both hurt. It's okay, Hampton will start playing once we move Ross, but, right now I just don't have any spots for him. All right, so we're on the road against Denver, another loss. So that's, 4 straight losses after beating the Bucks and the Lakers? That's kind of rough. Do we have a game today? We do. There we go. We beat Portland to improve to 12 and 17. So all in all, not a bad episode. We are 12 and 10 so far in today's episode. Anthony, 26.6 assists. Carter, 22 and 11. Isaac had 16. Look at that line. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 4 blocks. That is a line. All right. We have a game today. We don't. Again, we'll get up to the 18th. We'll make one more run at a move for Ross, and then that'll be that. All right, so let's sim this game against the Bulls, and then we will win. 105-99 win over the Chicago Bulls. We are 13 and 17, and now we are going to trade Terrence Ross. We are going to pull the trigger on a deal here. Very balanced scoring, again. We don't have anybody who really lights it up. We have a lot of players who can put up, 12 to 16 points. So, all right, let's go back here. Let's find Terrence Ross, see who's interested in him. Okay, what is going on? Why can I not pull it up? What is going on here? Why won't this let me do it? Okay, so we know Fultz is willing to be. They'll trade for Fultz. There we go. Celtics, Bucks, Wizards, Grizzlies. So, all right, Celtics. Let's just look at the Celtics. Again, no real contracts here. Okay, so that doesn't work. So Celtics, Bucks. Let's look at the Wizards and the Grizzlies. The Wizards had a couple players, right? Yeah, they had like Thomas Bryant and Montrezl Harrell and all right, so we could do like a Harrell and a bunch of second round picks. Really? I can't imagine they'll take that, right? Even though it says advantage. Yeah. So even here it says we have the advantage. Okay. So if we're going to do this, then it's probably going to have to be... No? Okay, so they... Interesting. Memphis. 22 and 9 Memphis. Terrence Ross Give me Tyus Jones. Really, there's no advantage there. That's a bit shocking. Culver, they will take, right? Yeah, they'll take Culver. I mean, do we just make this deal straight up? It gets Ross away a year in advance, and we get back somebody who's not particularly good, who we're just going to. I think so. I mean, again, the whole point of this season was to move on from contracts in lieu of draft picks. All right, sorry. Let's just kind of go through here and see if there's a better option out there. I mean, this is fine. Because, again, the whole point is to just move the contract. It's not necessarily to get some sort of elite talent in return. Although that would be nice. That's not going to happen. So what was this deal? It was like Williams and Wright. I think that may have been the Fultz deal. Right? Was that Markelle Fultz? Yeah, it was. So Lou Williams, Dion Wright, and can we get... Okay, so those first-round picks are just super high value. All right, let's... Oh, right, this was the deal where they said they were interested in him, but they don't want to take on his contract. Yeah, like, just dumb. Just dumb. All right, so let's get, I guess, Dion Wright out of there. Let's put Terrence Ross in there. It's not cap legal, though. Let's get Hill out and put Dieng in there. It's still not cap legal, really. Oh, because I took out the wrong player. Take out the wrong player. All right. Cap legal. Will you do this? Lou Williams and Deng and 3 second-round picks for Terrence Ross. They will. Okay. So they need... So we are now under the cap. And that's not the greatest deal in the world. But again, you know, how many times can I say it? It's not about... It's not about... It's not about this year. All right, so we're going to have to release somebody. And I think it might just... Who's our cheapest... Who is our cheapest contract right now? Wagner. Bredzikas. Because if I try to release one of these players... I'm going to have to, I guess, eat, for lack of a better term, the rest of the contract, right? Is that correct? So if we come down here to Bredzikas, yeah, that's fine. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got to... No, because Begarin's on a two-way deal. All right. All right. So, yeah. So I think that means now that Hampton's going to get some playing time. He is, which is good. So we will store this lineup now. And we will go forward. So the only other trade I think we're going to make this year is the Markelle Fultz deal. And I think we'll save that for next episode. So let's just get through the end of December here. See where we end up. Yeah, we have a lot of expiring deals. So we're going to have basically our young players and a bunch of expiring contracts, which is perfect. We'll be able to make a splash in free agency. I'm really looking forward to our first offseason here. Another game against the Bucks, and we lose. Ooh, held on tight there. We lose 123 to 121. What do we got going on here? Playing lights out. We're going to offer praise. His effort decreases, but his attitude increases. So we almost beat the Bucks on the road. We lose by 2. We're up by 10 at halftime. Again, playing well in the first half. Things falling apart in the second half. Anthony with a good game, 26-9. 26-7-9. Wow, almost had a triple-double. Wagner only 3 shots. Suggs is back, right? Suggs is now back, so let's restore the lineup. No, let's get him in there. Carter Williams is fine right there. We will store that lineup. Yeah, so since we slowed our offense down to a grind, we're averaging about 5 points more per game, and we are 13-12 in our last 25. Make it 13-13 as we beat the Hawks. Wow, we beat the Hawks at home 129 to 121. 20 points each for Suggs, Anthony, and Carter. A double-double for Carter. Anthony, 24, 7, and 7. Hampton busting out with a 15-point performance there. That's what I like to see out of RJ. He's still young, so we'll see what we get out of him. We'll sim to January 1st. We'll pause and we'll look at the league stats, too, not just the team stats. Got the Wizards now on the road. Another win, 110-96. And look out, world. Here come the Orlando Magic. Jonathan Isaac, 13 points, 17 rebounds. Wendell Carter scores 15 points in only 13 minutes. Mo Bamba, 10-6. Suggs had 17. Anthony had 23. That scoring number has gone up. Anthony wants to remain an Orlando Magic. Maybe we can get a first-round pick for Anthony. Although it feels like moving chairs on the Titanic. Another win. We are 16-19. Wonder how close we are to a playoff berth right now. We'll look at that in a moment, too. So, Cole Anthony with a triple-double. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. He does not want to be traded. A 21-year-old putting up 15, 6, and 5. Yeah, he's our guy. Wendell Carter, 21-13. Another great game for Isaac. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, 3 blocks. Suggs, 9, 5, and 5. All right, well, we're hanging in there, guys. We are playing some good basketball now. And we lose to the Jazz to fall to 16-20. 23 for Mitchell. Isaac, 11 points, 14 rebounds. I think I'd like to see Isaac shoot the ball a little bit less. He's only shooting 43% from the field. I mean, if I could give some of his shots to Wagner, that feels like the right move. We'll see about that. All right. So let's, we got December 31st, and this is it. So we started this episode 0-7. We are going to finish this episode 16-20. So that's, 16-13 in the last 2 months. I'll take it. We're in third place in the Southeast, 6 games behind the Hawks. We are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th position, I think, in the conference right now. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're in 10th place in the conference right now. And we're playing pretty well. Milwaukee and the Sixers are both 29-8. Nuggets are 28-7. Oklahoma City 8-27. Houston 9-26. The Suns have rebounded a bit, but they're still only 15-21. The Lakers are a 500 team. Let's take a look at our stats. Wendell Carter up to almost 17 a game now. That scoring average is increasing, almost 17 and 8.5. Suggs, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists as a rookie. Anthony at almost 15, 4.5 and 6. Isaac, 13 points, 7 rebounds, almost 2 steals and 2 blocks a game. Wagner's our best shooter. We got to figure out a way to get him more shots. He can't be shooting the ball less than Isaac. He just can't be. 4 points, 3.5 assists. Bamba's doing fine off the bench. Fultz, like I said, will likely be moved next episode. Get that $17 million can be better spent elsewhere, especially when we have RJ Hampton, who can, well, I guess he's more of a shooting guard. So, it's fine, though, because we can just set up the lineup in such a way where Suggs or Anthony is out there pretty much all the time. Okeke, he's doing okay. Maybe we need to get him a little bit more playing time. 6 points, 3 rebounds, shooting almost 50%. Carter Williams doing what he normally does, not shooting the ball well and kind of doing some other things. I don't think Williams or Deng have played for us yet. Gary Harris hasn't played a single game for us yet. All right, well, let's look at the league leaders before we call it an episode. So Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic, De'Aaron Fox, and Bradley Beal are your top 5 in points per game. Assists per game, Trae Young, Morant, Harden, Doncic, and Fox are your top 5. And you can obviously pause it at any time if you want to see any of these. Rebounds per game, Capella, Gobert, Vujacic, Valanciunas, and Sabonis are your top 5 in rebounding. Blocks, Miles Turner, Rudy Gobert, Jonathan Isaac, 3rd in the NBA in blocks. Green, Van Vliet, Simmons, Jaylen Brown, and Jimmy Butler are your top 5 in steals. Ja Morant taking almost 23 shots per game. Making just over 12. Field goal percentage, Zion Williamson shooting almost 70% from the field. Kyrie Irving shooting 56% from the field. That's crazy good. Stephen Curry averaging almost 14 threes a game and making 6.5 3-point percentage. There's Franz Wagner, 14th in the league at 465. Free throws attempted, Embiid, number 1. Free throws made per game, Embiid, number 1. Free throw percentage, Lillard. Turnovers per game, Bradley Beal. Player efficiency, Nikola Jokic, the reigning MVP. Double-doubles, Clint Capella has 30 double-doubles on the year. Wendell Carter has 11. Triple-doubles, Westbrook has 9. I think we have 1. Yeah, Cole Anthony with 1. And there are your league leaders. So, guys, that is going to do it for this episode. Next episode will take us up through the end of February, which means up through the trade deadline. Hope you're enjoying this. I'm having fun so far. I feel like we're off on the right foot. We're playing relatively well. The owner is okay with us rebuilding. We're going to keep Jonathan Isaac, so I'm not concerned about that. At this point, we're going to have we are probably going to have a low lottery pick, so we'll probably be picking 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. But we're going to have a ton of salary cap. We should be able to land a fairly substantial free agent with the money we have, or 2 very good ones. Because at this point, we are going to be going, you can see here, down to $71 million, and that doesn't include trading Markelle Fultz. You take another 16 off that drops us to $55 million. And the salary cap is like 112, and that likely will go up next year. So we're going to have like $60 million to spend, $60 million to spend. Now, we could spend some of that on Mo Bamba. That's $14 million, maybe. I mean, that's a lot of money, but Harris is gone, Lopez is gone, Williams is gone, Dieng is gone, Carter Williams is gone, Fultz will be gone. So we're going to have Isaac, Carter Jr., Suggs, Wagner, Cole Anthony, Okeke, Hampton, and I guess Mo Wagner on the team, and Begarin, who I'll turn his deal into a 1 year or a one-way deal. We'll keep him on the big league roster, or on the big league roster. We'll keep him on the NBA roster next year. So we're gonna have regular free agent money that we can spend. We're gonna have the mid-level exception. So we're going to have a lot that we're going to be able to do next year. I'm really looking forward to it. So, guys, I appreciate you watching, as always. If you've gotten this far in the video, leave the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from me. If you don't want to do either of those things and you just want to watch the video, that's fine too. I appreciate your support. I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.